欢迎收听只有欢乐没有慢热，
只有特色绝对炙热的最佳播客
Sip and Tell， 我是常客包子，
我是 Kim，
I'm Kim also
And I'm Charmaine.
All right.
Today's episode is brought to you by A6. Lift up lifted with a sound mind, sound body.
来看这边，看这边，
看一下班。
这里，
可是
给你看
我比较
teleprompter
想看你头上的 bandana。
你从早上进来哦 ，the moment you step into office 哦 ，you've been talking about this bandana
我有点
since morning.
confused，因为这个 fashion 有点不搭今天的 topic。
为什么不搭 ？Why is it not 不搭？
因为这个像 Naruto。
这个是给你运动的时候 ，when you are exercising, when you are doing sports, right? If you sweat, right, you can prevent the
那个
sweat from
material 不
dropping.
对了，那个 prevent sweat 的是有点 cotton 的。
这个是 cotton 的，你要不要摸？
我不要摸。
Okay, so the reason why I'm wearing it like that, if you guys cannot see, can come onto our YouTube or views channel to see my outfit. It's the first time that I wear a headgear, you know, in our podcast.
所以你平时做 hit 也是这样穿？
是，
那个 bandana。
算是。因为今天我们要聊的就是 sports， so 他们 request 我一定要 sporty 一点嘛 ，so that's the reason that I wear a bandana。没想到一进来 Kim 就一直 attack 我。
不止我，这边全部工作人员都以为你头脑有问题。
好，那我摘掉了吧。
没有啦 ，OK， 好看的是好看的。
Yeah, so today we're actually talking about sports, and we have our two guests here today, Kim and Charmaine. Yep, you guys want to do a short introduction?
You go first?
Oh, okay.
Hi, older one first.
Hi, I'm Charmaine, and both me and Kim we play for the Singapore national netball team.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we have been playing for quite a number of years already, right? Like 2011 and I think 2014.
Wow.
Yeah.
11 years.
8 years.
8 years.
Yeah.
Wow.
Actually, a lot of career, it takes like years to train to even become good at it, right? But how do you guys actually started, like had this, so-called dream, or how you all get into this netball scene?
National team.
I think maybe for me it was quite straightforward, right? Because my whole family plays netball. So since primary school, it's been sort of a dream for me to be in the national team. So through the sports school, the age group programs, and all the way to the national team. So mine is quite like, I know this is what I want.
Since how old do you play? Primary school.
Primary 4 is how
Primary
old?
school.
10?
Primary 4 is
10 years old. Yeah.
10 years old. Yeah. Then how old were you when you joined the national team?
2014, that's 20.
Wow.
I just realized something. You know what? We did introduction for Charmaine. Then we skip introduction for Kim. We straight away like, okay, so how do you all get into the career?
Yeah.
Kim, please introduce yourself first.
Sorry, I'm Kim. So I've been part of national team since 2014. I work in Deloitte. So that's how my career started, because netball introduced me to Deloitte. So
Right.
How about Charmaine? Like besides playing netball, what do you do?
Well, I have a lot of other responsibilities. I'm a mother.
You are a mother already?
Yeah.
Well, you maintain very well sports
thank
things.
you.
How many?
2 months.
Oh,
2
newborn.
months.
Yeah, it's 2
Wow.
months. Coming 3 months. Coming 3
Oh.
months. Yeah.
Nice.
现在 confirm 很 shag.
哪知道
Because I have 2 kids.
Concealer must put.
Yeah, must put thick. Because you know,
Newborn
newborns
babies,
are
yeah.
very very shag. Okay. So you were saying that you
You're a
have
mom.
many responsibilities.
Yeah, so I also have a full-time job. I'm in Allianz, so more of a regional compliance role.
Wow.
Okay.
Yeah.
No, they are all corporate one.
So that's why I say like from the surface it looks like being athlete 你还是要做一个another day job to sustain yourself.
I think that's the case for Singapore athletes, right? A lot of times, regardless of what sports you play, you still have to have a day job because the whole culture of nurturing is different compared to being abroad. Yeah. So how's the journey like for you guys? When you started, what are the perks of being an athlete and what are the difficulties you all faced?
I guess one thing is the commitment to training, because after work we go to training, right? So being able to come to work alive and awake to focus also, I think that's one of the biggest challenge. But also the time off we have to take for training tours, for competition, it does take a toll on the people that we work with. So you really need an understanding team lah.
Right,
I
right.
see.
I think for me, it's also like to split my time between different responsibilities. So, like what I mentioned just now, other than my full-time job, I also have a netball academy.
Okay.
So, like to juggle like motherhood, to juggle like netball trainings. Because we train almost every night. Yeah, Monday to Saturday, and then like Sunday we do our own runs, and then we have to spend time family members, friends, and also like to juggle everything is quite a challenge for me actually.
Yeah,
Wow.
that's how you cope, man. Like, so morning you have to work. After that, at night you have to go for your netball trainings, and even Sundays you have to go for your runs. Then how you split
yes,
the time for
yes.
your family?
Wow, I think I barely sleep. 2 hours maybe.
Yeah, I was gonna ask you, how do you even sleep?
Yeah.
Yes, like I did. Yeah, so probably Saturday, Sunday is more for family members, for my netball academy. Then weekdays is mainly for work, for netball trainings.
I see.
Yeah, so actually I see Kim, like before this, I see Kim like almost every day, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know how
Wow.
can get not
Yeah,
get sick
for how
of
many
her
years?
face,
Like
but
11
yeah.
years. Oh my
Yeah,
God.
quite a long time
Yeah,
lah,
yeah,
almost
yes,
every
yes.
day.
Right. So actually, I mean, so that's the question that I wanted to ask. Like, you guys have to handle a day job. At the same time, you have to, do your responsibility as an athlete. Is it because the government is not paying enough? Or is it because, the associations or being an athlete, generally, you don't make enough money to cover your daily expenses? How is it like being an athlete in Singapore, I would say?
Maybe my point of view lah, not
Yes,
anything.
yes.
Is the I guess society in Singapore is very career driven, right? So as much as you have passion for the sport, the infrastructure is not built to be a professional athlete yet. Like other countries, you can do it full time.
Right.
So I think ours is more of something that we enjoy, something that we want to pursue out of building our career as we grow older.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay.
So support monetary wise, I
Is
think it's more of
not-
allowance lah.
Right. I mean, you just now you mentioned like the overseas, the structure of the overseas
Yeah.
training. How if you guys know, maybe in US or in China, in other countries, how does it different from Singapore?
Yeah, let's say for netball itself. Yeah.
I think we are not professional athletes, so definitely our passion, that drives us to train every day. Like how we like to meet our friends and our teammates on court. So like if you are mentioning about like a career, like earning money with netball, then no, definitely not. Maybe we
Right.
get sponsorship here and there, like from various companies and all, but it's never the case that we want to play netball because of money.
Right.
Mm.
I mean, Australia is top, right? If I'm not wrong, they are the top in
Yeah,
in
Australia, New Zealand, Jamaica, England,
yeah.
they're always the top 4.
the top 4.
Wow.
Yeah.
Singapore, if I did a bit of background research lah. Okay lah. I mean,
Modest ranking lah.
We
Modest
used
ranking
we
lah.
used to be better. We used to be
yeah,
better.
I think as last that I checked, Singapore is ranked 34 worldwide, right? Yeah, so the top ones like they mentioned are Australia, New Zealand, Jamaica, England, then South Africa.
I think
Yeah.
maybe the difference, like, because I know a little bit about netball, but not a lot. But I know a lot about football. I'm a fan.
All balls ah.
Come on, man. One is use leg, one is hand.
Oh,
Okay, but like from what I understand, because I don't know is it the money or what lah, but like because it's a full-time career for them, right? And a lot of money is pumped into like their everything to equip them as like really like top level footballers. Is there a difference in like the welfare side or your training ground side as compared to, you think, like from the bigger teams from overseas?
I actually think Singapore were quite lucky. Like in this region, we actually have all this infrastructure. We have our own training ground. We have a physio attached to us. We have a full management team, a gym instructor, a gym to
Nice.
train at. So I think actually the support that our organization has given us is tremendous. Like I guess the only thing that
Could be
The
better
difference-
is the money.
but we don't. I think even if we didn't have the money, I think we would still do it anyway. If you ask me 10 years ago, I do this again, despite everything, I would still
You
do
still
it.
do it.
Yeah.
Like truly passionate and really loving the sport.
Of course, I understand that you guys are doing it more for a passion, but do you think like it's possible for people, for athletes, to actually make a living out of just pure doing sports? Just pure, aim for Olympics.
I think yes, it depends on the sport that you're talking about. I think personally, I feel like individual sport, you get to get like the funds, the grant
Right.
from Sports Singapore, because we have this thing called a specs business.
Specs
Specs scholar, yeah. So yes, I think like it depends on the sport itself. Yeah.
Just like Joseph Schooling swimming or looking you lah. I guess.
Yeah.
Badminton.
Do you think we are moving towards a direction where, you know, the whole infrastructure and the culture will be more towards, like, hopefully in the near future, we can afford to really have athletes being full-time athletes?
I think maybe for the next few years, I wouldn't think so. Because like there's still that traditional mindset, right?
Still
Career
quite,
first. But I think as people start to see the values sports bring, it's not just about the medals, it's
Yes.
that character building.
Right.
Then perhaps they might decide to invest more in this.
Speaking of which, what since we're on this topic, right? So in your careers, like, what are the benefits or things that you gain out of sports?
You wanna go? I'm sure you have many.
I think for me, the most important thing is that like actually we make friends all around the world. Yeah, so every time, because I love traveling a lot, right? So when I travel to different countries, you get to like meet new friends, they get to bring us around and stuff like that. So I think that's something that's really nice.
Yeah, it's so fun actually. How about you, Kim?
I think, the connections. I think netball has brought a lot into my life, specifically my career, even with my studies. Because when I started netball in the national team, I was working part-time Deloitte and I was funding my own full-time degree. So netball, the exposure it gave me actually helped my school notice, and they actually gave me a full scholarship, and that took off a huge burden. So I think that's one of the biggest things that I've gotten from netball.
I mean, throughout all these years, I mean, aside from the supports, because being an athlete, there is a lot of like mental,
Training
strain.
or
Yeah,
mental
because
training.
it's gonna be very tough on your physical, and of course it tests a lot on your mental. Has it sort of like helped in terms of your like just now you mentioned shaping your character, right? Is there anything that actually sport sort of like helped you in that?
Well, I would say the biggest thing is time management. I think without this, your everything can just spiral into a mess. So time management, I guess discipline as well.
Right, discipline.
Yeah, and also I really think it's commitment. Once you have decided to do it, right, I think the career that we have built for ourselves in netball has taught us that we cannot back out of it.
Right.
Yeah.
A lot of resilience.
You know, even now I want to do my HIIT session Tabata every day. It takes so much all out of me, you know. Every day you go back, you have to tell yourself, okay, I must do it. You know.
You
Yeah.
can wear your headband.
It's so this will remind me.
Yes.
Go
Oh my
back. I
God.
will hang the headband at
You
my
see, I'm
door.
not the only one giving you shit for it. Yeah.
So this is the thing. I mean, I have a lot of like respect for athletes lah, because it really takes a lot of like persistence and mental strength in order to pull through. 其实很多时候我会觉得它很像artistry training. Like last time when we were talking to this girl called Charis, she was in Korea training for her idol. It was very tough also. Like every day they have to wake up
A lot
very
of
early. I
resilience
think
lah.
12 hours, 13 or 12 to 16 hours a day to train. Yeah, it almost felt like they're training for Olympics in terms of
but
being
I
artists.
feel the way they are trained is way healthier than hers.
Yeah,
comparably.
yeah.
And also, I think the time management part is very, 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 very good. Like the way they have to manage their day job, family, their time school and all that. I think that is like very commendable, because it's very hard to. Sometimes one day, 24 hours, we feel like we really don't have enough time, especially sleep time.
Then also, like, throughout this whole journey, being an athlete, right? Was there any like toughest moment or darkest time that you all actually been through? I believe there
I'm
definitely
sure there
gonna be some,
are.
right?
For me, yes. There are several over the course of like 11 years. So I remember one would be my debut competition, the World Cup held in Singapore. Okay, that time it was called the World Championship. Yeah, so it was held at Singapore Indoor Stadium. And then it was my debut competition, so meaning that I have never played an international match before for Singapore. And then it was good that the coach actually gave me a chance to take the court, and I performed well against, I think, Jamaica. That was my first match. And then subsequently, I got to play the other matches. Then there was one match against Fiji. And then I think the team played very well. So eventually, we were winning by 1 goal towards the end of like the last minute or so. And then I missed the last goal. They brought back the ball. And then we drew the game. So that was really painful for me, and
I get it.
we were all devastated because the team really wanted to win. So the fact that we lost that game actually caused us to drop
in terms of?
So if we were to win that game, we'll be top 8 in the world.
Oh.
Yeah,
Oh,
so because
ranking wise.
yes, ranking wise.
see.
So because of that goal, I mean, you can say it's just one goal, but then because of that goal, it led to a draw game, and then we went to overtime and we lost eventually. So that was very painful for me, and I took at least like 3 years to get over that.
Oh, dear.
Yeah, so I do have like nightmares of like it recurring. Like I keep putting up the shot, the ball, how the ball bend. They call it 洗马桶. It goes
Oh,
around.
I hate that kind. Then sometimes the thing don't want go in.
Yeah, and then it went out. So like,
Oh,
my
dear.
gosh, like of all time, it's
That
just
day.
that moment.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, my coaches, Cyrus, my management, my teammates, they were all pretty nice. I mean, they were good and bad lah. So most of them, they were encouraging me. They said like, okay, if you didn't play so well, we wouldn't have led to that draw. Yeah.
Right.
Like you are new, this is your first competition, you have a lot more to learn. But I think for me, I take it very hard on myself because I felt like there's a lot of things. I mean, I expect so much more from myself.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah, so I would cry myself to sleep almost every day. Yeah. And then every time when people mention about that game, that match, I would like tear. So like,
No,
yeah.
don't cry.
Yeah, so okay, so it's about 11 years now, and I still feel the impact.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
that sort of like leave a print in your life.
Yeah, but I think from that game I also learn a lot. Yeah, and I mature as a player from that game as well. Yeah.
Hey, but also you just started. That was your debut match.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
yes.
usually we always, when you look at new players trying to score a goal here and there, right? We always say never mind because it's their debut game.
Thank you for giving chance.
No, the finishing. We always say the finishing is still not polished yet. Why? Because still new. First game only, never mind. So like, yeah. But I'm sure because you expect a lot, it's your first game, you weren't doing well.
I mean, you can only imagine how much pressure you have holding that ball at that moment.
And
Like
then
the clock is counting down. This is the last shot. Then you throw. Then it didn't go in.
Yeah.
Funny you say something though. Like that 2011 was her first competition, right?
Yes.
2011 was actually a ball girl for that competition.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and then she said she took about 3 years, right? So that's 2014, right? So 2014 was my first competition with her.
Oh.
And
Yes.
need to say that she did not show that fear anymore.
Right.
Really.
Right.
Because when you're so used to, you keep doing that. The only way is to keep, being resilient, keep playing and keep playing. As you go, your finishes you'll be more confident as you keep shooting and shooting and shooting. I think.
She's our beloved sharpshooter. I know once I put the ball in her hand, right?
Thank you,
safe
thank you.
already.
So
You
kind of
go
you.
in really. Won't
Yeah.
already.
Sima Hong, never mind.
Sima
We'll take
Hong
it
I
back
go
for
in,
you. It's okay.
Yeah, what about Kim, man? Is there any like dark times or tough periods, I would say?
I think if you're in a netball community, Kim equals a lot of injuries. So that has been my sort of downs in all my career. So across the past 8 years, there's been 3 major ops.
Wow.
Yeah, so I think those were the periods. I know post-op, there are always family and friends around you, but at that moment, you'll still feel lonely. But I guess the worst was 2019 because I ruptured my left Achilles. Even if I think about it now, my voice wants to shake already. Yeah, but I mean, you just gotta figure out a way to deal with the emotions and put it aside and focus on rehab lah.
Okay.
Yeah, but like she mentioned no one can help you until you help yourself. So just
Yeah.
gotta claw your way up somehow.
But 刚刚讲到 injury， 其实we do have before we came on set. Actually, we were talking about this. We have a
Story.
Yeah, we have a story. I saw a lot of commonality lah with you guys. So, okay, so this is how the story goes. Okay, it's in Chinese. So if you all don't understand, can ask me.
We'll try.
Yeah, okay. So 他说大概是因为家庭的原因呢，我从小就很喜欢运动。然后 JC 和大学我都有参加很多体育方面的 CCA。JC 的时候我参加了1年的 rugby， 然后大学我去了 football 还有 rugby club。我也曾经梦想过做运动员，但是我之间受了很多次的伤，所以这些年我就没有再怎么运动了，身体从腰到脚踝都受过伤。运动最多的时候还是在大学，而受伤最多的也是在大学。在一次抢球during a tackle 他因为起跳被撞而失去重心，然后单脚着地出现肌肉拉伤。然后送到医院以后呢，医院的医生告知我的跟腱已经严重受损了，建议我暂时不要训练。那个之后我休养了1个月，我走路也变得困难很多。It's a lot of terms 啊。OK 在脚伤好了之后呢，我又重新回到了球场。我大概在踢了2周，我发现我的腰在跑步的时候也有明显的痛感。去医院检查之后，发现我的腰间盘突出。医生强力建议他是不要去做运动，比如说 football、rugby 是绝对不可以做的。So 没有办法，大概在1年后呢，他就慢慢喜欢上，我就慢慢就他了，他慢慢喜欢上了徒步，就是去 hiking 啦。之后也去了很多不同国家徒步，但是因为伤呢，我尽量不会走得太快。记得有一次在Netball 的 Annapurna Base Camp。I
will not say anything because I'm not sure.
OK，so 他去了一个 Nepal 的 base camp， 海拔大概是有4000米，但是因为要赶飞机回去新加坡，行程很紧但只要他说他只要跟着他的计划走就不会有问题。他们一共5个人上山的时候都很顺利，在下山的时候呢碰到了下雪天，但路面很滑，他们决定休息半天，第2天的时候再走。因为第2天的时候就比较赶，他在跨越一个岩石的时候扭伤了他的左脚，后来在队友的帮助下慢慢下山了，但后来左脚几乎是不能动了。所以这些年我就没有做太多的运动，只是时不时会去健身房，但没有再做过多腿部力量运动有关的运动。这些年在健身房中认识了很多朋友，其中有一些也是健身运动员。我跟他们分享了我的经历之后，他们说训练中我很缺乏对我身体的保护，也没有得到很好的引导。所以现在的我到了中年，也和运动渐行渐远了。做运动员的梦，其实我也早就放弃了。毕竟在新加坡做运动员，感觉好像也蛮辛苦的。所以这个 email 呢，希望能够到你们手中。休息是为了走更长远的路，给那些正在追求运动梦想的人，一定要好好保护自己的身体。也希望新加坡的运动产业能够越来越好。So it just happened that we have this, right? Then we wanted to do a episode on sport, but this is something that's really very, very relevant.
You know, I cannot repeat it in Chinese. But you know the last statement you said about to walk a longer
distance,
path?
yeah.
I think that's very important.
Right.
That was a very hard lesson that I learned also. You know, when I was younger, I was like, wow, chiong lah.
Chiong ah.
Got injury,
Chiong
just
ah.
go lah.
Yeah, she
Don't
was
care lah.
a pocket rocket. So she's very fast, right? So she zoom here, zoom there, everywhere.
Yeah, but like, you know,
now still is lah.
now I'm older already. Yeah, but you know, with all my injuries, I still went ahead. But so when you said that, right, I was like, wow, damn pain. Because after my last injury, that's something that someone told me. I was like, yeah, I think it's really time for me to
slow
down and take a break and actually take care of myself for once.
Rest and make sure you're in top condition.
Correct.
Yeah.
So that story, I think for both of us, wow, it hits home.
Yeah, I think like it's important to put yourself first also rather than to. I think sometimes we really think a lot. We feel for others. You know, we put the game first, put others first. But then I think like during the injury, it's really down to like you resting and putting yourself first.
Right,
Yeah.
right. But 这个也是，其实有些时候我 like it's very 怎么讲嘞 it's a very big mental battle lah, especially if let's say it's an important game. And before you guys need to go on, right, and there's maybe a small injury that's already been with you for quite a while already. We see that a lot in films also.
I see that a lot in EPL also.
Right.
Because major game like final or something, right? Then one of the key player suddenly the first half before like 10 minutes kena injured, send off. Wow, sian. Then the fella cry, you know, because it means a lot to them. It's like what it means to you guys as well in games.
A lot of times people say like mind over body. Do you all practice it?
In training kinds.
In training maybe lah.
I mean, it depends on what injury it is lah. If it's like finger sprain, just a sprain, ankle a bit like twisted, just tape it up, you know, then go on court. But then if it's like a major injury, then no.
No, right.
I think mind over body is more of, you know, pushing yourself. When you are in a good condition, you push yourself. But when you're bad in condition, don't do it lah. I mean, like even the recently concluded competition when she got injured, right? Actually, the last game, my back spasm again.
Oh.
And my right Achilles, which is the good one, also had a pull. I was like, okay. So I was like, no choice. So I had to tell I told the coach lah, cause I think that was a lesson I learned already, right? Don't in a sense be stupid and play on the injury lah.
I think you just aggravate your injury.
Yeah,
further.
no point lah. You need to think about life after sport also, right? When you're 40, do you want to be in so much pain?
Yes,
No,
exactly.
Yeah, man. Oh my god.
How many games have you guys played already for Singapore?
Yeah, how many have you all kept?
Mine after recent is 101.
Oh, crossed the 100 mark already.
Yeah.
Wow.
She too. She's supposed
That's my 1, 2, 3, I think.
Yeah.
What?
她老教already.
But 100多场, that's averaging like how many games you all have to play per? Because you're 8 years, right? That's almost like 100. 我的 maths 有点不好。10几场.
It actually depends on how many competition we have in a year.
Yeah.
Ah, okay.
Yeah. So
okay.
if this year is a major year for us, meaning that we have like 3 competitions, it means we will earn more cap. I mean, if we are selecting the team.
Yeah,
that
and
is,
also it depends on whether you get on court.
whether you get to-
Right. But now you are a mom, right? Has the mentality changed, like in terms of being an athlete after becoming a mom?
Actually, no. So like after I gave birth, I spoke to coaches, I spoke to the management, and then I decided to like come back and play. Yeah, although I tore my ACL, but then I felt like I wouldn't like I did not regret it lah. I mean,
How soon did you get back to play?
about
After-
2 months. About 2 months.
Well, that's very fast.
I mean, I felt I was fit enough. So after a month, I started jogging. I started running 5 km, 10 km.
After 2 months of giving birth,
That's why she looks fit. She don't look like she just gave birth.
2 months
Thank you.
straight away. Wow.
Yeah.
很厉害。
Yeah. And now with my baby, I feel like, I mean, every time you just see him smile, you feel like, wow.
Yeah. There's another thing you can like, that person you can focus on whilst, trying to recover. And whatnot.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes.
That's
So
good,
like,
actually.
other than looking after the baby, I'm also growing my academy. So hopefully I can help more netballers in Singapore.
Right,
you know.
right. But we were just talking about the academy thing, so I wanted to also like this is one of the questions that I had in my head is like, in terms of Singapore's like structure, training an athlete, how does it work basically? Do we have like sports schools? I think
We have
Woodlands.
a
I know
Singapore
we have a
sports
Singapore
school,
sports school
yeah.
at Woodlands, right?
That's like secondary level, right?
Yeah, so that's actually where I was from.
Okay.
So it's like what she mentioned, it is a secondary school. You have to trial to get in. Then what we do, I think times have changed now, but back then when I was in the school, we basically, our timetable was 6:30 a.m. wake up, train, 8 o'clock end, 9 o'clock school, 3:45 end, 4 p.m. train, 6:30 end, dinner until 7:30, 7 to 9:30 is supervised study time, then we sleep.
Oh.
So we,
Supervised study.
yeah, so got teachers in
Cannot
front of us in the
unsupervised,
classroom.
meh.
We cannot stay in the room. We must go classroom at night to do schoolwork.
Oh,
Sian.
but that means secondary school, you guys already stay in, like
Yeah, we
stay
stay
school.
in.
Do y'all
Correct.
like go home during weekends? Kind.
Yeah, so it's a bit like army. You check out Friday, you check in Sunday.
Sunday.
We legit scan card,
Wow.
scan transponder to go in one.
Wow, so early you all serve army already.
Yeah, 4 years.
But that kind of discipline is also
It's
like,
good
it's
in a
also
way,
trained
right?
from like
Yeah.
secondary school level. It's
Yeah.
Because sports
Not
is a
easy.
lot about discipline.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's true.
After that, after you went through the secondary school education in the sports school, then from that point onwards, is there anything else that can breach the,
I think
before becoming a professional athlete?
it depends on sports, but netball specific, the career pathways, I think is set super strong. Even while you're in secondary, there's like different age groups, under 14s, under 17s, under 19s, 21s, so the opens team. So there's sort of like a flow of talent going up towards the national team every year.
I mean, in comparison to maybe some other countries, like for us, we only have a sports secondary school. Followed by that, is there like an institution or university? No, right?
Nothing.
Yeah, from my memory, I think if I remember correctly, 中国 they have like 体育大学. From secondary school, they select some of the students really train from
Yes,
secondary
yeah.
school, then proceed, then straight away goes to college and goes to
I
uni.
think the
train all
other
the way.
countries have. Yeah.
Singapore don't have lah. Once you graduate, right, then you decide
You
on your life lor.
Oh, you're on your
Hey.
own already.
Yeah, you're on your own already.
Consider, man. Government.
Huh?
Consider lah. I think it'll be quite cool.
But I think a bit tiring lah. You go through 4 years already, then still go
Yeah,
again.
that's true, that's true.
The dropout rate will probably be quite high because of the fatigue from young.
True, true,
Yeah.
true. Do you guys feel that being an athlete in Singapore is a very expensive path?
Expensive? I mean, to a certain extent, because I think we really commit a lot of time to it. So time is money, right?
Yeah.
So, I mean, without netball, we could probably or possibly take up another job or even like advance in our career. Yeah. So, yes, definitely expensive.
But I think if you think about it money-wise, netball was one of the cheapest sports lah.
Yeah,
You
I mean,
just
yeah,
have
yes,
pair
it
of
really depends on the
shoes.
sports
Yeah.
also.
Like
And now we're also sponsored by A6, right?
yeah, correct.
So,
So everything is covered, our gear, our shoes,
yes.
everything.
And then it helps you have a sound mind.
And somebody.
Somebody.
Yeah, growing up,
I
right,
love it.
shoes was every birthday I asked my mother for a pair of sports
Yeah,
shoes.
it's very expensive.
Yeah, because it was expensive,
It's very
especially my
expensive.
family lah. So, like what she mentioned, the A6 sponsorship really helps a lot. Takes out
Really,
it's a
yes,
full
really.
burden
A lot
off,
of-
man.
yeah.
Yeah.
But only like but this thing is also like a lot of aspiring I think athletes or people who want to venture into sports. I think the start journey is always very difficult because
Yeah.
most of the time you have to fund yourself, you have to do it
Especially gears.
gears,
Yeah, like my friends, they are in fencing or something. They pay lots and lots of money. I mean, they have to pay for gear. They have to pay for the competition themselves.
or they have to pay
Join
for
competition must
ticket
pay money one.
Yeah, yes, yes.
Oh
yes.
dear.
Everything have to pay. So I think it'll reach like a few K per competition.
That's a
your accommodation.
lot.
I'm not sure whether that's paid
Flights,
as well.
accommodation, also they have to.
Yeah, I think they have to come out everything their own.
Wow.
So probably
Wow.
they are sponsored like to a certain extent, but then they do have to fork out money. But we are pretty blessed.
Yeah.
I must say, like our
They
NSA
didn't-
take care of us very well. You know, we have like sponsors and all, so everything is covered. We just
Yeah.
have to put our
Mine too.
full
Focus.
concentration on the game.
Yeah, yeah.
Right. Yeah, so I guess end of the day, we have spoke to Kim, we have spoke to Charmaine for quite a bit. I think in order to fulfill, not say to fulfill, like in order to be an athlete or even to, continue your passion in sport, keeping a good body and keeping a good state of mind, I think is really important.
Yes, yes,
Yeah.
yes. And 休息是为了走更长远的路。
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, and also, I think to all our listeners out there, we have to show more support to our local athletes. They work so hard day and night, and all that. And I think recently you all say that there's going to be a competition coming up, right? Yeah, I want to share a little bit about it if our listeners want to go and support you guys.
Yeah, so we will definitely appreciate the support. Yeah.
Yes.
So we have this upcoming competition in December, 3rd to 10, right?
3rd to 10.
Yeah, so it's the Nations Cup. So hopefully we'll see you there.
Yeah, 3rd to 10th. Okay, Nations Cup.
Yes, go and Google.
Go and
Yeah,
Google.
yeah.
Yes. So once again, thank you so much, Kim and Charmaine, for coming on Sip and Tell.
Yes.
And 谢谢大家收听我们的只有欢乐没有慢热。
只有特色，绝对炙热的最佳播客
Sip and Tell， 下
Thank
次见。Thank you，Thank you，Thank you，
Charmaine。
和我们分享你的故事，发送到以下电邮地址 ：share with us your stories. Send in via the email below. advertising.sg@view.com.
View